What was it like being 17 years old, being sent off to prison? And I'm not talking juvenile prison. I'm not talking Lil DOC. I'm talking actual adult prison. Stateville NRC. Showering once a week, a whole month. The most nastiest food you could ever eat in your life. Not knowing what's ahead of you. Knowing that you have to serve 6 years and 9 months. Man, it was wild. I can't even describe the feeling. I can't describe to you exactly what was going on in my head at those times. But all I knew was that I had to lean on God if I wanted to make it through. It's just so crazy. I remember a lot of the older cats used to ask me, man, like, what are you in for? Like, is this your first offense and all this? And I used to share with them, you know, my situation. They used to be so blown back, like, man, why didn't they just give you juvenile life? Why didn't they do this? And I used to ask myself the same questions. But now, being in the present and looking where God has brought me, I understand why he had to let me go through such a pretty hard time. You know, don't get me wrong, there's people still in there serving time. There's kids my age that were 17 that I was locked up with that were doing 30 years. But as for me, being a kid from the suburbs of Illinois, thinking I was all that, and then really facing a real life situation and a real life consequence, it was nothing but the grace of God. I genuinely believe if I would have got a slap on the wrist or juvenile life, I wouldn't have changed. I just thank God for favor that he gave me in there. That's the only thing that really got me through was his favor, man. The jobs that I had, the older cast that I was able to just kind of kick it with and learn from. And I just thank God for giving me a sponge mentality while being away. There's just so much to take away from that experience. Whether if you're somebody that went in for a couple months, a couple years, whatever it is, don't take it lightly. Prison is not a normal situation. Prison is not something you should get used to. Not saying that we don't get used to it, because I can honestly say when I hear somebody got sentenced to a year and a half, oh, that's sweet. You know, they'll get out in no time. They'll be fine. It's just a little sit down. But when it's your first time going to a situation like that and you're not used to it, it can be a scary thing. But I want you to know, man, don't take it lightly. Really learn from that situation. Don't let it become normal. I'm not saying don't be scared of anything, but let that honor and that reverence towards God remind you of where he brought you out of. You know what I'm saying? It's not an easy situation, especially if you don't have family. So, but yeah, man, just being so young and going away and facing something like that, it can be traumatizing. And I'm not saying that I'm like, oh man, I'm so messed up from it, but I do deal with trauma. I do deal with memories. I do deal with feelings. I do deal with sometimes a false sense of self because I grew up in there. I was 17, I got out when I was 24. I became a man in prison and I discovered who I was in prison and who I am. So coming out, I've been out for 3 years. It was like a restart for me. I had to discover who I was out here, you know, so it's crazy, you know, being sent away for years, and then you finish your sentence, they're like, all right, just go home now. And to them, they don't care if you have resources. They don't care if you have family. It's, hey, you served your time. Go get it how you live. Go figure it out. And it's sad that there's some people that don't have family, that don't have support, and that's why they go back to prison, because there's food and shelter, there's certainty, versus being out here in the real world where things are uncertain. But like I said, that's where God comes into play. That's where your faith comes into play, knowing that he's going to take care of you. You know, so if you're somebody who finds himself coming out of prison or jail, even the county jail, and went through an experience like that, God let you go through that to give you a reset, for you to kind of think about, what do I want to do in my life? For you to trust him in the unknown instead of going back to what you know and knowing the outcome to that is either prison or the grave. So just, you know, keep going, stay encouraged, stay motivated. Don't let the system hold you down. God got something bigger for you. You know, God put them people in a place to give you your sentence, but don't take his mercy and his grace for granted. Amen. Take advantage of it for the right reasons. So I'll holler at y'all.